I need you to imagine this for a second. You wake up, you open your phone, and the first thing you see is a clip of Jelly Roll standing backstage, eyes glassy, voice shaking, saying just enough to make your stomach drop, but not enough to explain anything. No big announcement banner, no flashy headline, just a quiet moment that feels heavy. And suddenly everyone is asking the same question: why does this feel like the end of one chapter, and the start of something nobody saw coming? Before we even go any further, let me say this, because I know some of you are already rolling your eyes. I've been reading through your comments on the last few videos, and I see some of you calling out the drama. And honestly, I get it. In a world full of scripted TV moments, fake beefs, and written headlines, it's hard to know what's real anymore. I felt the exact same way when I first saw this. I almost scrolled past it. But something about the look on his face made me stop. So I went digging. Not gossip blogs, not clickbait posts, actual interviews, raw footage, old lyrics, things fans usually don't connect together. And what I found didn't feel like promo hype at all. It felt personal, almost painful. And that's when I realized, this wasn't just a career move. This was a risk that could either redefine Jelly Roll's legacy, or break his heart in public. Here's the part that makes this hit harder than a normal music announcement. Jelly Roll has never been the industry's safe bet. This is a man who came from a past he never hides from. Jail time, addiction, being written off before he ever had a real shot. He wasn't supposed to make it out of Antioch, Tennessee. He wasn't supposed to end up on country radio. He definitely wasn't supposed to become someone that people's parents, kids, and grandparents all somehow connect to at the same time. And yet, that's exactly what happened. If you've followed his story from the beginning, you know how messy it was. Early on, he was trapped between worlds. Too country for hip-hop, too rough for Nashville, too honest for polished pop. Labels didn't know what to do with him. Radio didn't know where to place him. And for years, it looked like he was always one wrong move away from losing everything. That's why this new announcement feels different. Because when you know where someone came from, you also know what they stand to lose. And when the news finally dropped that Jelly Roll was making a huge career move, one that included an entirely new debut, people didn't celebrate right away. They panicked. TikTok exploded first. You had fans stitching the announcement with worried expressions, saying things like, "Please don't let this be another artist changing just to fit in," and, "I swear if Nashville ruins him, I'm done." On X, it was chaos. One post went viral saying, "Jelly Roll saved country music by being himself. If he walks away from that now, what was it all for?" And then Reddit got dark. Threads titled things like, "This feels like goodbye," and, "Why does this announcement feel off?" started stacking up comments by the hundreds. But here's where it gets complicated. Because mixed into all that fear, was excitement. A different kind. The kind that says, what if this is exactly what he's been building toward? Some fans were pointing out clues from months ago. Lyrics that sounded like closure. Interviews where he talked about feeling boxed in. Moments where he hinted that success came with a price he wasn't sure he wanted to keep paying. One fan wrote, "You'll hear it too, right? He sounds proud, but tired. Like someone about to jump without knowing if there's water below." And that brings us to the first layer of the reveal, because this didn't start with a press release. It started with pressure. Jelly Roll has been open about how fast everything happened. 1 minute, he's grinding for years with barely any mainstream recognition. The next, he's winning awards, selling out venues, and being held up as the face of a genre. That kind of rise sounds amazing, but it comes with expectations. Suddenly, every song has to top the last one. Every album has to prove you deserve the spot they gave you. And for someone like Jelly Roll, whose entire identity is built on honesty, that kind of pressure messes with your head. The second layer is the genre tension. This new debut isn't just a new project. It's a shift, a deliberate step into territory that scares people who love him. He's not abandoning his roots, but he's refusing to stay trapped in one lane. And that's where the fear kicks in. Because fans don't just listen to Jelly Roll. They see themselves in him. His sobriety journey, his past mistakes, his marriage, his faith. When he changes direction, it feels like he's taking a piece of their story with him. Now let me pause right here, because this is usually the moment people decide whether to stick around or not. If you're feeling this tension, if you're torn between excitement and worry, that's your sign you're not watching from the outside, you're invested. And if you want to stay in these conversations as they happen, not 3 days late when everyone else has moved on, you already know what to do. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay in the loop with us. Not because of the algorithm, but because stories like this deserve time and honesty. The third layer is the industry reaction. Behind the scenes, this move raised eyebrows. People close to the business started whispering that this was risky. That he was stepping away from a formula that was finally working. That radio might not follow him this time. And if you know Jelly Roll's history, you know how many doors were already closed on him once. That's why this isn't a casual experiment. This is a gamble from someone who knows exactly what it's like to lose everything. The fourth layer is the personal cost. In one interview clip that didn't go viral, but should have, he talks about how success changed the way people look at him. How strangers project expectations onto him. How he sometimes misses being the guy with nothing to lose. That line didn't sound nostalgic. It sounded heavy, like someone realizing that climbing the mountain didn't silence the fear, it just gave it a louder echo. And then we reach the final layer. The part that didn't hit until fans really sat with it. This new debut isn't just about sound or branding. It's about control. Jelly Roll is choosing to tell his story before the industry tells it for him. He's choosing to risk criticism instead of living comfortably inside a box someone else built. And when you look at it that way, this announcement stops feeling like a marketing move and starts feeling like a declaration. Here's what truly broke the internet. At the very end of his announcement, almost as an afterthought, he said something that flew under the radar. He didn't promise chart toppers. He didn't promise hits. He said he wanted to make something honest, even if it scared people. That one line split the fan base in half. Some heard confidence, others heard goodbye. So now I want to know what you hear. Does this feel like Jelly Roll leveling up, or walking away from the version of him that made you fall in love with his music in the first place? Is this bravery, or burnout? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story isn't over. And knowing Jelly Roll's past, the final outcome might surprise all of us.